Welcome to Demon Trades, Trading Basics Video 7, How to Find Tradable Stocks. Now this is the most important part for a day trader and for a swing trader, okay? You need to know what stocks are going to be tradable, what stocks are going to show winning strategies or patterns that will enable you to make profit, okay? So how do we find these stocks, and what are tradable stocks? So what are you looking for? Okay, well, you're looking for volume. Higher than average volume and large volume are two in the same. You need them to be able to get in and out of stocks quickly, like I said before. And they also will have different characteristics to stocks that are trading at their average volume, okay? They're going to be less buoyant, a lot less volatile. They're going to have very little movement. So there's going to be less opportunities to make enough money to make it worth trading. Okay. Now, other things to look out for are news. Okay, news releases, like I said, RNS, also news, general news, business news, worldwide news, government-backed news. These things will have impacts on certain stocks on certain days and weeks. Like, for example, COVID. So if you're in a pharmaceutical company, a new vaccine's found, a new test is found, treatments found. Things like this are very important, and they will affect certain sectors and certain stocks. Large changes in share price, obviously indicated by volume. Something that's moving or gapping up, you might say, or gapping down at over a certain percentage is a stock that you should be interested in monitoring to see if something develops from that. Okay, it might be a sharp jump and then it might stay flat. It might be a sharp drop, stay flat, but it might bounce up and down. It might be that there's a lot of interest. People are buying and selling. Long-term investors are trying to get out and new investors are trying to get in. Okay, so what we don't want is the opposite of that, what you'd call a low volatile stock. Okay, like I said, high volatile stocks are very dangerous. It needs to be within a certain range, but stocks with no volatility are just not going to make you any money as a swing trader or a day trader. Okay, so these are fundamentals to bear in mind when you're trying to find the right stock to trade. So how much volume does a stock need? Okay, I mentioned volume. What's the right amount of volume? Well, there is a relative volume, and you can put it into a stock screener, and you want something at least 20-25% above average to trade, okay, as a minimum. Anything less than that and it's going to be hard to make any real money from it, okay? If anything, you're more likely to lose money from it. As an average of trades per day, really nothing less than 1 million. Because you want, like I said, you want to be able to buy enough volume of that stock to make a decent amount of money, which means you need to be able to sell it relatively quickly. If you're buying if you're buying 1,000 shares or more and the volume for the day is 50,000, it's going to be hard to sell them quickly enough when you hit your profit margin or your profit target. So you might lose some money. That's why it's really important. And the last thing you want to do as a trader is lose money, okay? It's the one thing we all try and avoid as much as possible. So if you set up these parameters, you're increasing your chances of being profitable, which is the most important thing. So we said 1 million shares a day, 20-25% over average. Pre-market in the US is a beautiful thing. It really helps you gauge how the day is going to play out. And if you're doing a pre-market setup for your day's trading, which a lot of people do, or at least for the beginning of the day's trading, you're looking at the pre-market when the bell goes, if you like. As soon as the market opens, you're going to be basing your day trading strategy on pre-market. So pre-market, you're looking for 100,000 trades as a minimum, maybe a little less, but really 100,000 is the sort of point where you want to sort of say, okay, from this and up, we're looking at some good trades potentially here. This is what we want to watch. And these can be found on market scanners. There's plenty of market scanners out there. Two of the most popular are Trade Ideas. Trade Ideas is very popular amongst professionals and experienced traders. TradingView is more of an intermediate, but they're both very good and they're both very usable to identify tradable stocks. Okay, so what news should I be looking for? Well, I've already mentioned slightly what sort of news you should be looking for, but here are some of the key points, at least in statements from the company, that you should be looking at. So trading updates. I've had a lot of success with trading updates. Just the word trading updates, as soon as I see that, I'm looking at that stock to see what the movement of that stock is. Is it going to be tradable? And it has been very profitable. Equally, FDA approvals and disapprovals have a very big impact on stocks, and that can go on for days and weeks. So even in swing trading, these approvals are great. Okay, there's always that instant impact where it will shoot up and then it will tail down, but then it will carry on up because it's got the approval. If it's a great product, that's a great company to be invested in for a period of time. It starts winning contracts and stuff like that. You could hold on to it for a few weeks to even a few months. Okay, so that's really good. Earnings reports, warnings and pre-announcements, they're always good. If profit's up and over expected, that's going to get buying interest for certain. And if the stock moves up, you're going to get people who have already invested from before hoping for news like this selling off. So again, that's going to give you some great points for strategies. Contracts, wins and losses, that ties into the above, same situation. Mergers and acquisitions. Mergers and acquisitions are good, but normally you want to be catching wind of that before it happens, or where there's the potential. If you hear about it, it's not a bad idea to invest, because if it comes true, you can make a tidy sum. Some instances 25%, 50%, which on your win-loss ratio is going to be massive. Okay, so they're really good things to look out for. Obviously, new product releases, board changes. If they have a change in the board, that gets sort of interest into new strategies and how they're going to move forward, especially if whoever has been brought in or pushed out is going to have a positive impact. You'll get a lot of interest there. So if it's the right person coming in and it's the right person going out, then it's a great opportunity to trade that stock for the day, and even as a swing trader and even as a position trader. There's been a couple of cases where some changes have been made and board members have been brought in from other companies, and it has spiked interest for days and weeks, and they've got such a good reputation that people are prepared to hold on to that stock for 2 years based on how the performance of that guy was at the last company over the same period of time. Okay, restructuring, same as above. A big one is factory and office closures, making people redundant. That can have a really big negative impact, making a great opportunity for a short, and even some strategy day trades in there where there'll be a massive dip and it'll return a bit. And out-of-court settlements and debt offerings, they're a big one as well. They really are. If someone's worried about cash flow and emergency loans and those sort of things, it can really boost people's confidence in a company or a stock, and the share price will reflect that. Okay, so they're the sort of things you're looking for. So share movement and volatility, we've already covered this, but obviously just as a recap, at least 1% higher or lower during the day. Also, volatility, it's not overly volatile. You can see the trend. It's not sort of jumping all over the place. There's a trend line there. There's a pattern occurring. Okay, that's what you want to see. You're looking for patterns essentially, okay, as a day trader and a swing trader. If it's all over the place, you don't know where it's going to go. That's the truth of it. If it's all over the place, you can't make an educated, informed decision and make a profitable setup, in my honest opinion. Okay, you can jump on it, it can rise, and then the next minute it's falling. 1 minute you're up 20%, the next minute you're down 10%. It's just not profitable. Okay, so just to tie it up, market scanners. Okay, obviously my two favorites, TradingView and Trade Ideas. TradingView is very user friendly. You can learn to understand it and use it very quickly, okay, and you don't need to be an IT whiz to know how to set it up, and it has the majority of information on there that you need. Now, Trade Ideas is a whole other level of clever. Okay, it will pick up on a lot more information and bring it to your attention very quickly if you've got it set up right. But it does require a lot more time invested into learning how to set it up, okay? So I would set aside half a day, watch some videos, pay attention, get it set up. It does have a fee, whereas TradingView has a free option as well as the fee option. Trade Ideas has a demo, which you can use. I don't know if it's a week or 2 weeks at the minute, but you can use that and see how you get along with it. But if you are struggling, go to TradingView, or maybe if you're starting up and you don't want to spend too much money, start with TradingView, get comfortable with it, and then see if you want to try out Trade Ideas when you're making a good enough sum of money to warrant that expense. But definitely have a market scanner to help you find the tradable stocks for the day. You can put in all sorts of limits as to what you're looking for, and it just clears you of all the other junk, all the dead stocks, and it just brings to you the most exciting active tradable stocks. Okay? Enjoyed the video? Please hit the like button and subscribe.